Now we will see long division method, but before that we will compare using real numbers and then we will solve polynomials. So what is this long division? That is the division which we use to solve real numbers. Now imagine you have 3 as the divisor and 288 as the dividend. What do? We would use the divisor and start dividing. How would we start? It's basic. So now see the first digit. 2 is less than the divisor, so you can't use only 2. You need to use 2 digits. So 28, yes, it is greater than 3. So how many times a 3 is close to 28? So you must see 3 times 9 we know is 27. Remember, don't take 3 times 10 because it should not exceed this number. See, 3 how many times a number close to 28? 3 9 times, isn't it? So we will write 9 over here times how many? 27. It should not exceed this number, the 2 digits. Okay, now solve these 2 digits. Remember, when you're solving, you must always change the sign. All these steps will be used now when we use the polynomial division. Whatever you have done in your previous grades, maybe this you learned in your second, third, fourth grade, I'm not sure. But anyways, whenever you learn that, same thing now will be applied when we use polynomials. Now when you solve it, 28 minus 27 will be 1. So always remember this particular number must be less than the number over here above. So what next? Now this is done. Bring this down. Bring that 8 down. So that comes over here. Because again, 1 is less than 3, right? You can't solve. Now bring this down. Now see how much times 3 is equal to 18 or close to 18. Now remember, 3, 6 times is 18. This is exactly 18. So what happens over here is you just write 6. 18, solve this, change the sign, it'll be 0 over here. So the remainder is 0. But this is the method you use. So you took the numbers suitable to divide and then you got this 9, and then when you try to multiply 6 times 18, so you got this 6. There's no remainder, this is the answer. Now, whatever we just now did is employed to solve polynomials. Let's solve this now. But in this case, it's a little different. Let's see, this is the divisor, this is the dividend. Okay, that's fine. What next? You need to see the first digit over here. Okay, and this over here. How do we get this x's? Basically, how many times this? But the easier method would be whatever is this digit. Can you see that? X squared. Just divide by x, by this divisor, the first part of the divisor. What is the answer? X. So that means basically you need to multiply x times x to get x squared, right? That is it. So you get x squared, but it's not over. The first part is yes, x times x is x squared. But what about this minus 1 multiplied with x? You will get minus x. Similar to this, but over here it was just one digit. Here you have x minus 1. So multiply x times x, it'll be x squared. Minus 1 times x, it's minus x. Next, change the sign of both. Now over here, this plus becomes minus and minus becomes plus. And now solve it. Plus x squared minus x squared cancels. What happens over here? It is minus 4x plus 1. It will be minus 3x. So minus 3x is remaining. Okay? You're just subtracting these both. Now pause and bring this down, this last digit, whatever we brought this down, right? Same way, there must be two terms. So over here, as you can see, it's two terms. You're dealing with two terms. You can't solve when it's one term. So bring this down. Okay. Now, what next? So look at these both. How much do you have to multiply to x to get minus 3x? The first term must be same. How much do you have to multiply? If you look closely, it'll be minus 3. That's it. So minus 3 multiplied by x will be minus 3x. And then negative 1 times minus 3 is positive 3. Now you get the answer. When you solve it, you'll get 0. Remainder is 0. And this is the answer. So this is how you basically solve it. I hope this is clear. Now we will solve a problem given to us. We need to divide x squared minus 5x minus 36 by x plus 4. Look, first, make the, to make the long division, make this thing. Write the dividend inside this symbol over here, like a bracket sort of thing. And then outside is divisor. What do you do now? See these terms. How much should I multiply x to get x squared? It's x. So now multiply x times x, you will get x squared, and 4 times x, you will get 4x. Next, change the signs, both the sides, both the terms. Okay, now solve it. This becomes 0 because plus and minus gets cancelled. Over here, minus and minus will be 9x. So it will be minus 9x. Now bring this term down over here. It'll be minus 36. What next? How much times you have to multiply x to get negative 9x? One way to do it is just divide this by the first term over here. The answer is minus 9. Okay, so you get minus 9 over here. And then you need to multiply entire term. X times minus 9 will be minus 9x, and 4 times minus 9 will be minus 36. So this is how we get the answer. Change the sign, it's 0. You just stop it. Stop it when it's less than the divisor terms or it's 0. Over here, you should use all these terms, and now it's over. That's it. That's the answer. The quotient, that's the answer. After division, whatever the answer you get is quotient, and the remainder is 0. The quotient is x minus 9, the remainder is 0. That's it. Let us try solving this one over here. This is having a remainder. Let's see how it is. Same way, do the symbol over here, draw the lines and write the dividend inside and the divisor outside. Now look carefully. How do we get the first quotient? It's 3x cubed divided by z. This cancels out. It's 3 minus 1. It'll be 2 over here. So it'll be 3x squared. Multiply z with, not x, sorry, it's z. Multiply z with 3z squared. It'll be 3z cubed. And same thing with minus 5 with over here. It'll be minus 15z squared. Next, change the signs. Over here, it'll be minus becomes plus, plus becomes minus. This is gone, cancels. Solve this. You will be remaining with 1z squared. See, this is the answer. Why? Because plus and minus. Minus 14 plus 15 will give you z squared. That's 1z squared. Bring the next term down. You will have minus zx. Now, how much do you have to multiply to get z? How much do you have to multiply to z to get z squared? It is only z. So plus z. Multiply z times z is z to the power 2. Minus 5 times z is negative 5z. It's z or z. It's the same thing. I hope you understand. Some call it z or z. Okay, whichever you're comfortable. If you're thinking, what is z? That is the thing. Okay, this alphabet. Now we just change the symbols, and the z square and z square cancels, and over here you're remaining with minus 2z or z. Now what next? Get this last term down over here. Now this is it. Now all the terms are done. This will be your last step because all the terms have been brought down. Now what do? Compare. How much do you have to multiply? You can just see over here, z and z are there, so only minus 2 must be multiplied, sorry. So write minus 2 over here. Z times minus 2 is minus 2z. Minus and minus becomes plus. 5 times 2 is 10. Simplify this, change the signs and solve. Over here this cancels out. You're remaining with minus 7. Now, is there any other terms? No. And the degree of the 7, minus 7, is lesser than z. So you can't solve this further on. So this is basically the answer. The answer is, the quotient is 3z squared plus z minus 2. And the remainder is minus 7. That's it. This is your final answer by using long division method. Sorry, I forgot to tell you one thing. After this, the remainder. So now if they ask you the remainder and quotient separately, class, this is the answer. But over here, you can also write this remainder as a term. So now what happens is, look over here. Basically, you're dividing these both, isn't it? This is the dividend divisor. So this much is the quotient, yes. But you can write the remainder in the answer in a way. See, write these terms as it is, no changes. Please remember, when you write the remainder, write what is the symbol? It's minus 7. And then whatever is the divisor must be divided to it, z minus 5. This is your answer. So please remember, if at all you have any remainder, say you add over here instead of minus 7, say plus 2. So what would have happened? After minus 2, you should have written plus 2 divided by the divisor z minus 5. So this is your final answer. Depends on the option. If they ask you the remainder and the quotient separately, this you can stop it over here. But otherwise, please remember the remainder must be written. The remainder must be written and divided by the divisor. So this is how we can get the exact answer by using long division method.